Aloha, namaste, y bienvenidos a mi casa. Welcome to my home. My name is Desi Bartlett, and today we are going to focus on the health and mobility of your back and your hip flexors. So please go ahead and grab 2 yoga blocks and a foam roller, and we will begin. So with the foam roller, we're going to bring this onto your yoga mat. And the foam roller, it's actually a little bit of a misnomer, meaning that you don't roll a whole bunch. You really just kind of lay on it and you find what's called a trigger point. I'm going to support my head here and I'm going to just move back and forth a little bit. Again, it's a small movement until I find that spot that kind of hurts so good. It's not painful in the sense that it's like an ouch pain. It's more of like a, oh, that's good. And then I'm simply going to hold that right there. Beautiful. And just keep breathing. And so the work with the foam roller is called self-myofascial release. And fascia is connective tissue. And I'm going to move this down a little bit and see if I can find another trigger point. So fascia, people used to think that it was almost like a casing for the muscle. And while that is somewhat true, it's much more intricate and sophisticated and moves through the body in such a beautiful way. I encourage you to check it out online. But right now, feel it from the inside out. Feel how everything is connected. And I'm just, again, allowing my body to kind of rest into the foam roller so that that trigger point can release. Breathe. You've got about 10 more seconds here. So we do want to hold these a little bit longer. This is more of that like 30 to 60 second hold. So good. And ever so slowly, I'm going to roll off to one side and gently bring it up. So the middle back has a nice sense of release. And I know that for my body, my hip flexors tend to hold tension. And even with all of the yoga that I do, finding a trigger point with a foam roller is just really great work. So you can use your blocks here if you'd like. And again, I'm going to move forward and back just a little tiny bit until I can find that sort of like, I need to make up a word here. It's like ouch and ooh together. Ouch. There's a moment of like, oh yeah, it's right there. And then I'm going to simply breathe into this shape. Now this type of work is fantastic for your recovery days. Let's say that you worked out almost every single day this week and today you're just going for a little walk and you want to do something that you know is fantastic for your body, but you don't want to tax or strain your body. You want to give back to it. You want to restore. This is for you. Okay. So generally, there's more than one trigger point in a muscle group. So if you just move a little bit, there it is. You're going to find probably another, and we're going to sit and breathe into the next one. So when you see people, especially at the gym, and they're kind of rolling up and down, it's actually not how the equipment was designed to be used. It's small. And that pressure, that external pressure, is going to help to release that trigger point. Good. I like to close my eyes and breathe into it and see if I can find a sense of softness. Beautiful. And we'll simply switch legs. Okay. So we all have one side that's a little bit more open. For me, it was the side we just did. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient with this side and find the point that I know will benefit from self-myofascial release. Okay. Found it, and then we sit into it and we breathe together. Good. So in the last few years especially, more intense workouts like HIIT workouts have become really, really popular. And I enjoy HIIT as well. I think it's fantastic. It's so good for our bodies to challenge ourselves, to make sure that we increase the heart rate, that we increase our strength, that we do it all together. But I love the idea of play hard and rest, restore, renew. So that's what you're doing right here, right now. And then we'll find another point. So let's just move a little bit. And it's just like you're becoming a little detective. Can I find the trigger point? Ah, there it is. And gently press into it. Now there's many different kinds of foam rollers on the market. You don't have to spend a lot of money. There are some that come with bells and whistles and do all the things. This one was probably like 15 to 20 bucks, and it is fantastic. It is doing exactly what I needed to do. Good, and breathe. And we're here for about 15 more seconds. So we were in the middle back. I was in the rhomboids specifically, releasing any tension in the posture muscles. Now I'm in the hip flexor, also a little bit in the quad, releasing tension here. Good, and you can let that all go. So the next place that we're going to go is into a yoga posture. You can move your foam roller off to the side, and you're going to place, actually let's lay down first, and then we'll place the block underneath your sacrum. So check it out. You're gonna lay down, feet are hips distance apart, and lift your hips so that you can put your sacrum onto your block. So it's supported bridge pose, and we breathe here. Now this is a very gentle and passive release for the hip flexor, for the psoas, and it's in a slightly different way. It's a different orientation than what we just had with the foam roller. Now from here, you're going to flip it so that the block is one level taller, and breathe. Good. And now for those of you who feel like this is pretty easy, you're going to turn it so it's even still taller. My feet are about hips distance apart. My shoulder blades naturally just sort of move in towards my scapula. I'm not trying to force them in any way, shape, or form, but I do want to feel a sense of spaciousness across the collarbones. Breathe. So right now you're with me in my backyard in Hawaii, and you see the evening sky in the background. It's a good reminder that this is a good wind down series. So if you've done all the things today, you did your cardio, you did your weights, and you know that it's time to give back to your body. These different movements and shapes will help to prevent what's called DOMS, delayed onset of muscular soreness. Good. We're here for about 10 more seconds. So again, these holds are slower, they're deeper. We're not in any kind of rush. Good. And now you're going to take this down one level. So bring it back to the second level if you went up to the third level. If you're still on the first level, it's all good. No comparison or judgment necessary. All we're doing is trying to create some space. From here, you're going to lift your knees so that your knees are directly over your hips. And now take your feet up to the sky. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You can open your arms wide. And this is a variation of Viparita Karani, legs up the wall pose, also known as waterfall pose. This is an inversion, and the yogis believe that this helps to bring fresh oxygenated blood to your brain. So we're borrowing from Eastern and Western techniques. And this is what I do with my private clients. I take decades of different types of study, different types of movement that are sort of like complete languages, if you will. And we mix them together so that you have the best results. And we have about 30 more seconds here. This is also fantastic for edema. So if you've had any swelling in your legs, especially if you've been flying a lot, this will help to counteract the swelling. Breathe. A long time ago, there were commercials, I think they were cosmetic commercials about you're worth it. And it was pretty much like spending the money or justifying spending money because you're worth it. And I'd really like to reframe that for us and talk about time. You're worth your time and energy. We give our time and energy to others so freely. Give your time to yourself here to restore your body. And then bend and release. So good. Ever so gently, you're going to slide that block out from underneath you. And you're going to place your hands on top of your thighs and press the thighs away. It is a very simple lower back release. And now let both of your knees move off to one side into a twist. And take your bottom ankle on top of your top thigh and encourage that knee down towards the ground. So now we're releasing the lower back. And we're very close to your final relaxation. We're here for about 30 seconds. Unwinding. And I know you can hear me breathing. I hope you can also hear a little bit of the Hawaiian breeze in the background. It's a beautiful reminder to allow the breath to be gentle and full, completely natural. And we'll switch sides. So take your twist to the second side. You can bring that bottom ankle on top. Look away from the legs and breathe. Good. So there's many different ways of working with flexibility training. There's self-myofascial release, static stretches, active stretches, dynamic stretches, yoga, partner stretches, the list goes on and on and on. And kind of figuring out like, which one do I do? There's a science to it and there's an art to it. And that's why we are practicing here together right now. About 10 seconds to go. Good. And when you're ready, you can release those legs. Let's roll onto your side like Sleeping Beauty. And just allow yourself a few moments here, letting your nervous system pause. So at the opposite end of the spectrum from fight or flight is relax and restore. And that's where you are right now. You can open your eyes, come on up to seated. And in the same way that I like to mix English and Spanish cuando estoy hablando en las dos idiomas, we brought together flexibility in yoga so that you can feel great from the inside out. Namaste.